Good evening. I am Lisa Knight, Marketing Officer, Products and Services at Republic Bank. Welcome to our edition of a guide to investing in renewable energy systems. This webinar will provide us with the why, what, when, where, and how of renewable energy. And it is going to take us through the process of how to understand renewable energy. And to help us go through this process will be our ably experienced and equipped panel. So let's meet our panel. Mr. William Hines, Chief Energy Conservation Officer at the Ministry of Energy and Business Development. Representatives from the solar industry, Ms. Jamila Wiley, Project Manager at Williams Solar. Mr. Andre Aline, Senior Sales Executive at Energen Technologies. To address how it can be financed is our team from Republic Bank, Mr. Carlos Beckles, Manager Retail Services, Mr. Matthew King, Sales Officer, Republic Bank. Welcome to our panel and welcome to you, our guests. Our audience wants to know why the big push to renewable energy, why they should get involved, and for that matter, how do they get involved and the benefits to them. I will pause for some housekeeping. Just to let you know, this is an interactive session and we do have a chat box open where you can enter your questions for our question and answer segment. This will be done within the last 10 minutes of the webinar. Now back to what is renewable energy. Mr. Hines, can you give us a brief overview of what is renewable energy?
What is renewable energy? Well, it's energy that keeps renewing itself. You use it and a moment later it's there again. And that would really be great if each of us could have our purses, our wallets renewing the money that we have there. Renewable energy is different to fossil fuels because the fossil fuels that have been made over 600 million years ago will be gone when we use it. It's not going to happen again, at least in another 600 million years. The types of renewable energy that we have here for use here on Earth is actually based on the three celestial bodies: the sun, the moon, and the earth. Easy to understand the energy we get from the moon because that is our tidal energy. We know the tides are affected by the moon. It's the pulling of the water. It comes in and out between the tides and you can harness energy from that. But we also get energy from the earth. Deep energy, as I speak, I mean geothermal energy that comes from the heat deep down. The remaining types of renewable energy actually come from the sun. We know sun's energy is solar energy. But what we don't know is that the solar energy is also responsible for the waves and the wind and the what? Here's your answer. The hydroelectric power. Let's look at it. Solar energy gives us wind. Solar energy gives us the hydroelectric power from the evaporation of the water onto the rivers and the flow of the rivers. It gives us the energy that's come from the waves, etc. But we know that the energy from the earth, the geothermal energy, and the energy from the moon, the tidal energy, are also part of a renewable energy experience.
Awesome for that brief overview of what is renewable energy. So for the purpose of this evening's discussion, we will show a short video to understand the concept of solar energy and its benefits. But we know that the same benefits can be derived from water and wind on a larger scale, as Mr. Hines said. So let's watch the video.
Every hour the sun's energy falls on the planet is equal to the amount of energy used by the entire human population in 1 year. The energy from the sun is in limitless supply. Unlike oil or gas, solar power is a reliable source of energy whose prices never fluctuate. Solar energy is free. How does it work? Solar electricity is generated using photovoltaic cell technology that has been optimized over years of research. Simply put, the greater the intensity of the sun, the greater the current of electricity. Solar panels collect sunlight and turn it into direct current or DC electricity. Even on cloudy days, your panels will absorb sunlight. The system's converter then turns this DC electricity into the same electric current that comes from your traditional utility lines. Your solar electric system is connected directly to your utility power supply so that the excess power from your solar panels will be fed back to your local utility company.
So that's the short video on and a basic understanding of how solar energy works. So let's start from the beginning. No better place to start than with Mr. William Hines again from the Ministry of Energy. So let's hear about Mr. Hines' background. Mr. Hines has been involved in renewable energy for over 30 years. Yes, 30 years this has been going on. Renewable energy has been around for a while, having worked for several regional institutions as a consultant and project manager. He has worked on or collaborated with or assist many major renewable energy projects in Barbados and the region. Mr. Hines continues to be integral in executing the government's initiatives for Barbados, one of which is to move Barbados towards no reliance on fossil fuels by the average consumer by the year 2030. Mr. Hines set the stage for us. I'm a potential homeowner for that matter, or a homeowner. And I've heard the advertising on renewable energy. I've heard the Prime Minister speak about it, the Minister of Energy, Mr. Kerry Simmons, speaking about it. In short, it's a hot topic. But my question to you this evening is, why should I, as a homeowner, get involved and not just let it pass me by? Tell me, is it difficult? How easy is the government making it? And why no?
Okay. First of all, let me say that being able to install a renewable energy system for yourself helps the country in terms of its efforts to mitigate the impact, the negative impact of greenhouse gas emissions. You are saving the world. You are also become part of our effort to become 100% renewable energy by 2030. Finally, the other reason is that it puts money in your pocket. So that basically is the reason why you should invest. In terms of the ministry's application process, may I suggest that it's perhaps one of the easiest processes that we have in terms of coming on board and making a lot of money. You go to our website, which is energy.gov.bb, and join up and go through the application process. There are basically two approaches that you can use in going through our application process. One is to do it yourself, and the other approach is let someone else do it for you. Both of them work, and both of them lead to your being able to have a license and being able to connect on the grid and make a lot of money, also save the world. Our process, if you're doing it yourself, you will see on our website when you sign up that there are a number of documents that you have to have ready before you make your submission. You can go through the list of documents and have them prepared by yourself or by someone. For example, you need to have a design of your solar system. You can hire a technician to design it for you, or you can hire a company who is going to not just design it, but install it for you as well. In addition to that, if your system is going to be located anywhere other than a roof, sooner or later you will need to have planning approval. You can still apply for the system at our website and get a license, even if you don't have planning approval. Depending on the size of your system, you need to provide more and more information. For systems above 150 kilowatts, you provide more information related to the technical capacity of the installer, and of course, the financial capacity if you're a company. Now, it's very important to understand that those people who have a target of systems that are less than 5 kilowatts, if you're a homeowner, if you're a domestic person, or less than 25 kilowatts, if you're non-domestic, then you don't need to come to us. You don't need a license from the minister. You can go and get your system installed and present yourself at the Barbados Light and Power Company. Of course, when you connect with Barbados Light and Power Company, they will have some general conditions and the signing up of their agreement with you. But generally, as I said, there are two approaches that you can use. There's a do-it-yourself approach where you can actually look at the list of documents that you need to provide, and you don't need to provide a lot of documents if it's a small system. Or you can fill out these documents, get them prepared, or you can let it be done by someone else and have that process filled in and processed by someone else, and all you need to do is send. That's basically how easy it is.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hines. I'm sure from that presentation, we understand that renewable energy is a benefit to us all, and the government has changed its process to a very short and efficient process. So moving on, we are moving on to our representatives from the industry, and we will start with Ms. Jamelia Wiley from Williams Solar. Jamelia Wiley has an in-depth background in renewable energy over the last 5 years with academic accolades, and is actively involved in many organizations educating young persons about renewable energy. She has successfully managed over 8 megawatt installations of grid-tied generation systems and holds the designation of Energy Manager in Training from the Association of Energy Engineers and Project Management Professional from the Project Management Institute. This evening, Ms. Wiley sits on our panel as the project manager for Williams Solar. Good evening, Ms. Wiley.
Hi, good evening, Lisa, and a pleasant good evening to everyone who is on the webinar this evening. Just trying to. Yeah, I don't seem to have access to changing the slides, so someone other than mind changing it for me.
You go ahead and start sharing again, Jamila.
Okay, no problem. All right, hi everybody, we're all started. Now I'm just gonna start with a brief background on Williams Solar. We were established in 2008, and since then we have been regarded as a leader in the renewable energy market. We are a subsidiary of Williams Group of Companies, which has been around for over 50 years with experience in the construction sector. Now, Williams Solar specifically, we are an engineering, procurement, and construction firm, also known as an EPC, and we custom design, procure, project manage, install, and monitor a turnkey state-of-the-art solar photovoltaic (PV) system by using quality equipment from the leaders in the solar energy industry. Now, Williams Solar specializes in residential, commercial, and institutional solar photovoltaic systems. As of Q1 of 2022, we have an installed generation of about 20 megawatt peak in Barbados and the Caribbean, notably in St. Lucia and the Bahamas. Now, if you decided that you want to get a system, you have 3 options available to you. You can either have an off-grid system, an on-grid, or what we call a grid-tied system, which is the predominant type of system in Barbados, or you can have a hybrid system. Now on the screen, I have a brief schematic or a simple schematic of how each type of system works. Now, starting with an off-grid system is completely independent from the grid. Therefore, you are independent from Barbados Light and Power. Now, the building is powered by PV modules, which are connected to an inverter. And then you have a battery bank that stores a certain amount of energy, which is sized to what you require for the building. Next up, we have the on-grid or the grid-tied system, which is the predominant type in Barbados. And the energy which you generate is fed directly to the grid. The system uses grid-tied inverters. So if the grid goes down, as in if Barbados Light and Power experiences a power outage, you will not produce any power. The inverters will automatically shut off. You will produce no electricity. Now, there's a combination of the two known as a hybrid system. The system generates energy, which is sent to the grid. However, in the event that the grid goes down, the energy passes through a charge controller, the battery bank, and then to an inverter, which can then power the required building loads. Now, once you've decided on the type of system, the next thing to consider is where will you be mounting that system? We can provide 4 options for you. The first is a flush mount system, which is for sloped homes and businesses. If it is that you have a flat concrete roof, we provide baluster systems. If you have a reasonably sized parking area, we can provide carports. Our framing is provided by our sister company, Structural Systems Limited. And lastly, if you have a plot or plots of land, we can construct and install a ground mount system for you. Our most notable location is the 1 megawatt solar farm in Cane Garden, which is next to the Lester Vaughan School. Now, once you've decided on the type of system, it being off-grid, grid-tied, or a hybrid system, and you've confirmed what type of mounting system you would need, which is either ballast, carport, flush mount, or ground mount, we then provide a free assessment where we will review your most recent light and power bill, visit your property to conduct an inspection of your roof and or land and the existing electrical service where applicable. Then we will provide you with a proposal which breaks down the major components which will be utilized to provide you with the desired system size that you require. We are the supplier of a wide range of quality products, from our racking systems, which come out of Canada, Polar Racking and Terragen, our modules from China, Trina Solar, and our inverters are SMA, Fronius, and most recently, Huawei. Now, these products have been vigorously tested to meet the industry standards. Now, once we can either bundle these products for you to provide you with a PV system, or if you're a DIYer, these products can be purchased separately at our retail store. Now, our most popular residential systems start from 3.8 kilowatts to 15 kilowatts. We carry inverters in these sizes, but they can be mixed to achieve a larger size system. Residential systems can go up to about 40 kilowatts on a single phase once you have the available roof space and budget. Now, the same limits are applied to a commercial system, but these can be much larger. For example, 250 kilowatts, 500 kilowatts, 1 megawatt system size. And these will utilize much larger inverters such as 50 kilowatts, 100 kilowatts, and 110 kilowatts. Now, once you are above 5 kilowatts at present, you require an Electric Light and Power Act license, or ELPA license, which Mr. Williams was alluding to earlier, for the Ministry of Energy and Business Development. Now, Williams Solar can handle the licensing process for you, meaning we prepare all of your documentation and attachments you require. Mr. Williams had mentioned some of them before. Some of them also include intermittent resource viability studies, statement of assets and technology, operation and maintenance costs. Now, since February 2022, this process is now online and it can be found at energy.gov.bb. Now, the size of your system dictates the rate for the feed-in tariff program, or what we call the FIT program. The FIT is a policy tool designed to promote the investment in renewable energy technologies by offering long-term contracts to renewable energy producers. Now, in Barbados, the FIT lasts for 20 years, where you are locked in at a specific rate. Now, these rates are currently on your screen, and they've been in place since October 2019. However, they've currently been extended to June 2022. Now, if you look at the first line, solar up to 10 kilowatts, the rate is 42.75 cents per kilowatt of energy generated. Now, I'm just going to show you how all this works, and you're going to use a 7 kilowatt residential system as an example. Now, this graph that is on your screen right now is for a 7 kilowatt grid-tied residential solar photovoltaic system. The graph shows the cumulative revenue and the estimated energy generation of a grid-tied system over 20 years. Now, with an estimated degradation of about 0.55% per year for the 20-year life of the system, the blue line on the screen shows the decrease in the generated energy from approximately 13,500 kilowatt hours to 12,500 kilowatt hours. The green bars show your cumulative revenue the system will generate for each year that you're locked into that rate of 42.75 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, the revenue per year here is approximately $5,500. So a 7 kilowatt system at the end of year 20 can give you a revenue of up to $111,000. Now, grid-tied customers over 5 kilowatts are automatically entered into the buy-all, sell-all agreement with Light and Power. Buy-all, sell-all essentially means that you will utilize any energy that you consume from your home, your bill for. However, the energy which you send to the grid, you receive a credit for. Now, I know sometimes for some persons this gets a little bit confusing, hence the reason why I have a Light and Power bill on the screen right now. And this is a bill of a grid-tied residential system that is less than 10 kilowatts. So this is locked in at the 42.75 FIT rate. Now, the customer is going to be billed as normal for the energy they use that month. As you can see, or hopefully you can see, they happen to consume 254 kilowatt hours of energy that month. However, the renewable energy system generated 791 kilowatt hours of energy, which was sent to the grid. Now, the difference in the used energy, or what they consume, compared to the energy generated, resulted in a negative balance, or what we will call a credit. The customer will not pay a bill this month. The bill is actually just a formality, but they will be issued a credit from Light and Power. Credits are issued by Light and Power on a quarterly basis via check. Now, if you look at the energy graph to the bottom right of the screen, and this is on everybody's bill, the black shows what you would have used. However, when you incorporate a renewable energy system onto your home or your business, it's going to have a gray graph which shows what you would have generated and Light and Power would have purchased from you. So as you can see, this customer has constantly been producing more than they've been consuming, and therefore they've been accumulating a credit for the last couple of months, which will be issued to them by Light and Power. Now, because of this credit process, solar energy systems are generally a good return on your investment. It's a guaranteed cost-effective energy output for 20 years. Modules have a lifespan of about 20 to 25 years, depending on the warranty and the brand that you go with. They're low maintenance and is a reliable source of energy because of where Barbados is located. We have a rainy season and a dry season, but we experience predominantly sunny weather all year round. It also helps decrease your carbon footprint. We know that climate change and global warming is very real. This is any means to cut down the use of fossil fuels. And then we can contribute to the national mandate of 100% renewable energy by the year 2030. So if it is that you're interested in getting a renewable energy system, just give us a call. At the end of this presentation, all of our information is available. So we look forward to hearing from you. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wiley. We understand, excuse me. We understand the different types of systems that you have gone through with us, the off-grid system, the on-grid tie, and the hybrid system. We also know that they last up to 20 years. The solar panels themselves last up to 20 years. It was a wealth of information. And at this time, we will go to Mr. Andre Aline from Inogen Technologies. Mr. Aline has over 8 years experience in the industry and has been with Inogen Technologies from inception. Mr. Aline has seen the industry through its growth process to where it is today with easy accessibility and financing. Mr. Aline, take us on a journey with you this evening at Inogen Technologies to acquire a solar system.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me this afternoon. I will try not to go over half the details that Jamila went over just now. So we'll just stick to some PowerPoints from Inogen Technologies. All right, so let's go screen share. Where is it? All right, so everyone seeing my screen? I hope.
Not as yet.
Okay.
Do you want to try again?
Yes, I want to try again. Okay. Anything yet, or is not coming up as yet?
It's not coming up.
I have no idea. Okay. I'm not getting it to pop up. I don't know what's wrong with my end. Let's go one more time. Before participants, see if I can. I'm not getting anything on my end. Well, you can use that. All right, cool. You go to the top.
So we can see your presentation. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you can see from the beginning of my thing, Inogen was founded in 2008. We, as of, well, we're going back to height. Right. Thanks a lot. Right. We were founded in 2008. And as of January 2019, these are the numbers coming from the government of Barbados. There were 1,400 solar connections in Barbados to the grid, and Inogen was responsible for 752 of those, which roughly works with about 51% of the market share, right? We currently have just over 3 megawatts of PV installed, that's grid-tied systems installed in the country. We are the only company that provides online monitoring for the life of the system, and that's free to customers. Some other companies ask you to pay for this service. The reason why we offer this service for our customers is because we are saying we are becoming your light and power. So you want to make sure your system is working the way it's supposed to. And what we do, we piggyback off of your internet service. And we monitor your systems day in and day out. And if your system falls below a certain level, we will contact you and let you know your system isn't working. And then we will send one of our technicians out to make repairs to your system to make sure that you do not incur a light bill after making this investment. We also have the industry's best warranties in the market, whereas 25 years on the panels, and then a 15-year warranty on the inverters, which is the most important part of this investment that you're going to be making, because this is the brain of the system, this is the heart of the system. And once those go down, basically, you won't be able to generate any sort of income from your investment, right? And we also offer the best in the industry, again, with the off-grid systems. And those are now strictly lithium, which is a better battery for the environment at the end, because those are 100% renewable, recyclable, sorry. And that's what we offer here. And as you will see, we are a group of the Nation group of companies, which is Nation Corporation, Print Web, Starcom, Nation Publishing, which is also known as the Nation newspaper, and also Image Works. You can go to the next slide, please. Right, here's just a few pictures of some of the installations we have done over the island. We have a 100 kilowatt system over at the Nation, which is our parent company. Also, we have a 275 kilowatt grid-tied system at the Barbados National Oil Corporation. And then we have one here at a 99 kilowatt first phase at the Storal company in Wildy. And if you look here, if at the side of this home, you will see what appears to be a little gray box. That is our off-grid system. which is not as ominous as other companies would have, because this is our lithium product, which sits pretty nice on this one. Unless someone tells you what it is, you wouldn't know. This battery here is roughly 8 kilowatt hours of power. This can run a house for maybe, I think, about 36 hours. If electricity goes out. During the storm last year, I think about 50 customers that had this system installed reaped praise upon Inogen for having it installed, and it worked perfectly during that time. And this is a little more detailed look at that product. Basically, it comes with 2 inverters. This is a fail-safe product, just in case one of those inverters go out, your system continues to generate and store electricity. Underneath that, you will see the batteries, which is the lithium batteries, which are stackable, meaning that you could increase your the amount of storage that it has, and you don't have to actually put on slightly what we would consider on slightly batteries on the outside, or have to build a room for it. And you can actually have up to 3 of these on your house, which could actually, this is for larger homes. Right, and this is just a look at our inverter, and this is one of our installations, quite neat and aesthetically pleasing. And this, right, and this is one of our installations, and this is our inverters. If you have any questions for me, you can actually just drop my information at the end of the presentation. I look forward to any questions you all have at the end in your question and answer section. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Aline. So we have done what is renewable energy and why it is important, where you can get your systems, and when you should do it now. And the last question to be answered is how. Good night to Carlos and Matthew. Tell us, what is the special offer Republic Bank has for renewable energy?
Good night, Lisa. Thanks for the introduction. All right, so as we heard about what renewable energy is. We learned about how to get the approval. Now we have to discuss how to finance it. Now the financing for the renewable energy system covers the cost of the system and also the cost associated with installing the system on your property. Now, what type of systems does Republic Bank finance? Now, from a commercial perspective, we finance photovoltaic systems, the solar farms that you would see around on the ground, with or without battery packs. And we also finance wind turbines, right? For residential purposes, we funded the roof-mounted systems. Now, your first question would be, am I eligible to apply for a renewable energy loan from Republic Bank? Well, the answer is definitely. We want you all to get a loan tonight. So there are 199 people in here, and I hope everyone comes to get a renewable energy loan. All right, so yes, you can. And if you have a mortgage with Republic Bank, it's even easier. So my counterpart Matt will discuss what are the requirements to get a renewable energy loan soon. For right now, the answer is yes. We definitely can finance you for the renewable energy loan. So what if your mortgage is not with Republic Bank? My first question will be, why not? Republic Bank has the best rates on the market right now as it relates to mortgages. The rates go as low as 3.5%. We do 100% financing. And if your mortgage is elsewhere, we are going to absorb up to $20,000 in your legal fees to have your mortgage switch. So definitely, if your mortgage is not a Republic Bank, you can switch over to Republic Bank, and then we can finance your renewable energy system. So if you don't want to switch your mortgage, you can provide alternative security, and that can come in the form of the cash surrender value on a life policy, cash, eligible securities. It can come excess value on a vehicle. And if you don't have a mortgage at all, this property is unencumbered, you just have the title deeds, we can hold the title deeds for safekeeping, and we can give you the renewable energy loan. So anybody in Barbados would be able to get that renewable energy loan, whether you have a mortgage at Republic Bank, elsewhere, or if you just have a property that is unencumbered and don't have any charges or any mortgages on it. So I'm going to turn over to Matthew now. He's just going to explain to you how do you apply for a renewable energy loan, and he's also going to tell us how it is paid, etc. So Matthew, turn over to you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in this evening, all 199 of you. I'm here to speak to you about what you need to get the renewable energy loan. You just need 2 forms of national ID, passport, driver's license, or your national ID. Then you just need 2 pay slips and your job letter, proof of address, a detailed proposal from the installer, a recent electricity bill that we can confirm your usage to make sure that you're getting the best package available. And then you need updated either land tax bill or a recent valuation on the property. Now, this process can take up to 3 to 5 business days, but we made things happen very good at Republic Bank. We pride ourselves in quick turnaround time, so 3 to 5 days or even less.
Matthew, I think your mic is muted.
Yeah.
Great.
Hi, good evening.
Back now. Thank you.
Right, so as I was saying, okay, so the turnaround time, we pride ourselves in our quick turnaround time, so it's normally done within 3 to 5 business days. The loan can be repaid either from the rebate from Light and Power, or for those persons who are willing, who want to get the full rebate from Light and Power to get the full access to all their funds coming in from the renewable energy loan, they can have a salary reduction done that can be put in place to pay the loan as well. If you decide to invest in the battery pack, however, the rebate from Light and Power might not fully satisfy the loan payment, and then you would have to depend on your salary as well. The usual tenure for the loan is around 15 years or to age 75, whichever is less. And of recent, we've been having maybe some other concerns about whether or not you're on the grade by a certain time, and how people don't want to have to pay for the facility at this point in time. And therefore, we are actually offering to pay 2 of those payments for you, just so you wouldn't have to feel no pinch at all with this facility. And everything will it will be a standalone facility at that point in time, and everything can run smoothly as well. I will now turn back over to Carlos, who will now speak to you about other benefits of the facility.
No, there's so many benefits that you can get from investing in a renewable energy loan. Now, the one that I like the best is the tax benefit. You can get up to 75% of the cost of your system to a maximum of $10,000 over a 5-year period on your income tax returns. I know everybody likes to get back some funds on their income tax returns, their personal income tax returns. So as I said, 75% on the cost of the system, up to $10,000 over a 5-year consecutive period. That tax benefit, definitely yours if you install in a renewable energy system.
And you can also maximize on your roof space and get even more income from the panels as well. That'll be a great idea.
Definitely. Actually, I had asked Jamelia for some figures, just a traditional system for a normal 3-bedroom house. So this system, this is a 7 kilowatt system. The cost for the system, it would change depending on the house, the orientation. So you need to get your quote, but this is just an example that I wanted to provide. So this system costs about $28,000 and it's a 7 kilowatt system. Again, as Matthew said, sometimes the approval takes a little time. So that 6 months that it might take for the approval to come back, we can include that in the system. So that increases the cost about $29,600. And when we term that over 15 years at our extremely low rate of 3.5%, your annual payment is about $2,500. Now you're generating income of $5,500 on that system. So that means that excess funds of $3,000 goes directly to you. So that's funds that you have, excess funds that you can use to invest in something else. You can use it to defray some usual expenses. That is money that you get on a quarterly basis that goes to you. Now, if you deduct the average annual light bill from that, which is about $150 a month, then it reduces to about $1,300 on a quarterly basis. So the next benefit is that you get that excess cash from investing in the renewable energy system because it repays the loan, it repays your utility bill, and then that excess cash comes to you.
And what we love most about this idea is that more people will become green homeowners and being more conscious about the environment. And we believe that this will help Barbados reach our goal of becoming carbon neutral by the year 2030.
I think that's fantastic. We all want to become green homeowners, and we want to become more conscious of the environment. So I want to encourage everyone to invest in a renewable energy system. Now, just to reiterate, our interest rates are as low as 3.5%. Fantastic rate, is the best on the market right now. That remains the 3.5 for the entire period of the loan. We do 100% financing. As I said, it includes the cost of the system and also the cost associated with installing the system. The electrical, if you need to improve your electrical, that's included in there. It's up to 15 years to repay. If you repay the system earlier, there's no penalty for early repayment. Any excess funds that you get from the system, you could apply to the loan as on scheduled principal payments, and you can finish your loan faster. So if it's 15 years and you finish your loan in 8 years and they're guaranteeing 20 years, then that excess 12 years, that cash comes directly to you. We have extremely low payments made directly from the system. As I said, it's a standalone system. So we don't have to look to your substantive income to repay that loan. Is a standalone facility, independent of your salary and independent of any other debt that you may have. So we encourage everyone to sign up today for your renewable energy system. You will see our details at the end of the presentation, how you can sign up for that system, and we definitely will get back to you as soon as possible so that you can definitely get one of those renewable energy systems today. And that's it for our presentation, Lisa. I hope that someone learned something, and definitely Republic Bank is the bank to come to when you want to finance your renewable energy system.
Thank you very much, Carlos, and thank you, Matthew. Yes, low rates as low as 3.5%, 100% financing, and a system that pays for itself. At this time, we will move into our question and answer segment. I want to remind our participants and guests that the chat box, the question and answer chat box, should be used for their questions. If all the questions aren't answered when the session is completed, you will receive an email, and the email will have a link, a video link attached, because we are recording the session, and the answers to some of your questions will be there as well. So one of our questions is it possible for us to have a roof that is entirely made of solar panels? Can anyone on the panel answer that? Or is this something we might have to research?
It's quite an interesting question, because right now there are already in existence in the world roofing shingles that are solar. So the simple answer is that was possible a long time ago. And I believe that there are probably a number of roofs in Barbados that have them. And we will reach a time where the cost of your roofing material will be more expensive than using solar panels to make your roof.
If I can interject and also add to that, we have not done it for our buildings here, but specifically William Solar. However, we've done it for carports. The carports at 1 Welch's by the EY building, those modules are drilled, set up directly into the purlins of the carport. There are no roof sheeting, etc. underneath. So we've done it for the carports, but it would be interesting to see it on a much larger scale for residentials and maybe commercial buildings. But there's also an issue of the spacing between your modules and possible leaking. I mean, that's acceptable or suitable for a carport, but for a home, I guess those kinks will still need to be worked out. So I'll be interested to discuss that further with the person who asked that question to see exactly what it is that they're trying to achieve.
Okay, we at Enogen, we have done roofing, but it's not for actually homes. We've done it for functional structures, i.e. Gazebos, barbecue decks and such forth, our carports, our garages, where persons, as Jamila just said, don't care about a little leakage, right? That we have done it that way in the past also.
There's actually a functional roof tile that looks like a clay tile that has been in use and installed throughout the world. Hopefully it would come to Barbados, and basically it produces an overlap that is waterproof. So that is part of your future. Expect that your children and grandchildren, when they go to buy a house, they will say you will have the galvanized roof, you will have the clay roof, or you will have the solar roof. So you spend the same amount of money that you will spend on putting on your roof, but you have solar instead. So it means that you basically, whatever tens of thousands you spend on your roof, you spend that on the solar instead, and you get your roof free, or you put your roof and you get your solar free. This would be an incredible experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing the first roof in Barbados being done, not by the government, but one of our entrepreneurs or existing companies.
Okay, thank you, panelists. Another question we have is there a maximum capacity that a typical residential customer can install? Well, that is the first question. And then what guidance would you give to a residential customer seeking to install a ground-mounted system on residential land?
All right, I would try to attempt to answer that one. Basically, the amount of panels that, or the largest system is typically based on your roof space. So that would determine the size of the system that can go on your roof. Now, on the other hand, with the solar farm or the plot of land in a residential area, that would depend on town and country planning if they would actually rezone that land for that purpose. I do not know of any that have been given, but you can ask a question. There's nothing wrong with asking a question to town and country planning to find out if it can be given, and that's the answer that I can give for that particular answer.
What I can add to that is that in recent months, the government has decided that we can consider and offer you a conditional license, even if you do not have planning permission for putting the solar system on the ground next to your house. So you can submit your application to our new e-portal, and we can process the application. The minister will give you a conditional license, which will be conditional to the town planning approval. So you don't have to do the town planning application before you come to us. You can actually do it after, or you can do it parallel. So that's a new innovation in the methods that we're using in the Ministry of Energy and Business Development to make it easier for you to achieve your solar destiny.
Okay.
Okay. The third part of that question is, does Republic Bank offer financing for ground mount systems for residential customers as well? The conversation was being had only on roof mounted systems.
Right, so as the panelists are kind of discussing, for residential purposes, it's subject to town and country planning approval, and mostly ground mounted systems are really for commercial. You get the commercial approval for that, and we do finance it for commercial purposes. So yes, it's a residential property, but you have to get the town and country planning approval. Our commercial division is happy to assist with financing that for you. The rates are just as low, and the tenor is pretty much the same. So definitely we can finance it from our commercial division, and the number is the same, 227-2700, and someone from our commercial division would definitely be able to assist you, even though it's a residential person, an individual applying for the loan.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Do non-Barbadians qualify? I own a house in Barbados and work there remotely regularly. This is one of the questions.
Right. So, well, the answer is yes. Traditionally, we lend to persons. So based on central bank guidelines, once a non-resident is living and working in Barbados for at least 3 years, they are considered a resident for exchange control purposes. All that means is if you live in and working here 3 years consecutively, then you can borrow just like any other Bajan. So as long as you're living and working here for the 3 years, you meet the threshold, we definitely can give you the loan for the system. If you have not met the threshold, it might just require central bank approval, but we definitely can still try to lend to you. As your homeowner, more than likely it will be approved. So the short answer is yes.
We have a question. Will you provide a loan for land and PV system if someone wants a small solar farm with ground mounted panels?
Now remember, their standalone is a standalone facility. So you have your land loan and you have your renewable energy loan. They're separate facilities. Your renewable energy loan doesn't impact your land loan at all. So we don't need to become aware about your land at all. So the answer is yes. You can still get the renewable energy loan even though you have an existing land loan. Again, they're standalone facilities. The source of repayment is separate. Your land loan is paid from your substantive income, whereas the renewable energy loan is paid from the revenue generated from the energy that is generated from the system that is sold to Light and Power and that you get in income from the system. So separate facilities, separate source of income. So the answer is yes.
Okay. Okay, so we have another question here. I think Mr. Hines will jump to this one. Is there any investment offers for solar generators?
Okay, the government has a large amount of fiscal incentives. I think that Carlos may have mentioned that there's an income tax rebate. If you're importing your solar system yourself rather than going through a company, your value-added tax and your import duties are zero. If you are an investor, if you are putting systems on your roof, there are a large number of incentives that government has put in place over the years. There's so many that we actually have a document full of them that you can download from our website, energy.gov.bb. In terms of government financing, I understand that there are the government agencies that offer programs that include solar houses with solar, but from the Ministry of Energy and Business Development, we have this, I guess you could call it a bucket load of fiscal incentives that allows and encourage people to come on board.
Thank you, Mr. Hines. Okay, so this question would be for Carlos and Matthew. Is the loan facility, the repayments, are they in tune with the BLMP, Barbados Light and Power returns? And that is every 3 months.
Hi, Mr. Kamal Durant. Yes, it is. The loans are done to pay with the Barbados Light and Power prepaid rebate. So yes, the payments will be made quarterly, just as the rebates come in as well. So yes.
Okay, thank you. We have a question. Does the land tax valuation go based on the new cost of the system being put on the property? Are we able to answer that? Okay, so we are not equipped to answer that at this time.
Yeah, maybe I can help you. I guess if you're applying to the bank and they're asking for a land tax valuation, this is before you get the loan from them, and it's at a point in time where you don't have the solar system. But I would point out that adding a solar system to your property increases its value. It increases its value to such an extent that banks will give you a greater loan if you have a solar system, because when they're calculating your disposable income, subtracting all of your costs, then you will have a lower cost in terms of your electricity bill because you don't have the electricity bill anymore. So the two ways in which it affects your valuation. First, in terms of after you've installed it, your house is valued more, which means that you have an increased asset level, obviously. And the other part of it is that in banks doing the calculations, that you probably are likely to get a bigger loan for your mortgage or whatever, because the amount of money that you will normally spend on your electric bill that they add up or subtract would not be there.
Just to chime in, any improvements you do to any property increases the value. So if you have a piece of land, you construct a house, it increases the value automatically. So similarly, if you have a piece of land and you install your PV systems, then it automatically increases the value of the property. When land tax, it changes the improved value. I wouldn't be able to speak to that, but if you were to do a valuation, the valuation will show the improved value with the cost of with the value of the PV system included in the valuation.
Okay. We have a Republic Bank customer who's asking if they would have to deal with their loan has been transferred to the Wildy branch. It was a mortgage center loan, and they want to know if they would have to deal with Wildy or the officers on the panel at this point in time.
Well, at Republic Bank, we have conveniently located branches across the island, from the north to the south to the east to the west. It does not matter where your loan is. You can come to any branch and get your renewable energy system loan. So you can speak to Matthew, you can speak to me, you can speak to somebody at Lime Grove, Spikestown, Broad Street, Wildy. There's so many branches, 6 Roads, Worthing. There's so many branches. You could go to any branch and get your renewable energy system. So even though your loan was transferred from Mortgage Center to Wildy, if you live in the north and you choose to go to Lime Grove or Spikestown to get your loan, you can go there and get your renewable energy loan. We facilitate multi-branch banking, and we have the widest branch network on the island compared to any other bank. So you have options.
And we have another question. Do you have a 5 kilowatt system? So this would be for our solar providers.
Yes, we do. Our systems go in 1 kilowatt increments. So you can have from a 2 kilowatt up to where you're satisfied. So you can have a 5 kilowatt if you need one, yes.
Similarly, for our Williams Solar, we also have 5 kilowatt systems. So you could just give us a call, take a look at your light bill, provide you with a proposal, and we go from there.
Okay, at this time, we have many questions in our chat, and we will have to answer them after the session because we've come to the end of our time. It is 7:30. And I want to thank all of you for participating in this renewable energy webinar. And thank you to our panelists as well. On screen, you should see all of our contact information. And remember, the video recording will be sent to you via the email you would have provided to get, and that you would have provided to get the link. So thank you once again. It has been a wonderful session, and have a good and safe evening. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening.
Good night, Lisa. Good night, panelists, everyone.
Good night, all.
Thanks for having me.
May the sunshine power be with you.